Okay, so let's look at Australia. So I ran across this post, and this goes back, I think, 2023 as well. Yep, 23, August 23. You have to go back in the Wayback Machine, guys, and start looking at what was actually happening. All those executive orders that Trump was putting out, he was booming them out one after another. And I remember reading a lot of them, but made no sense of them. Didn't, and I think everybody was kind of like that. Why did he do this? Why did he do that? And they were all kind of like, in your head, but they really didn't register until now, until the whole um, Canada becoming the 51st state, and so many of these posts started making me wanting to look back in the Wayback Machine as to what actually might be happening. So this Trump's executive order, and we're not in Canada right now, we're in Australia. 13818. And so it goes on. In 1975, George Whiteham signed the Lima Agreement and sold Australia to the United Nations. But wait, Australia and Pfizer are listed on the NASA, I guess, and I'm not sure, the NYSE agreement, Donald Trump's executive order, the 13818 seized the NASA. Therefore, by default, he is the owner of Australia. In Chapter 11, City of London, Vatican, Washington, D.C. are bankrupt. Application filed and lawsuit filed. Everything that I'm going to show you has to do with the state of affairs, why our governments have been failing, why they haven't been doing anything for us, why we've been getting the massive migrations. All has to do with this, in retaliation of this. And yeah, okay, let's go on. City of London is bankrupt and lawsuit filed. You can find out all of this is true, guys. The Act of England in 1871 was repealed, and the Secondary Judiciary Act of 1869 is no longer in force. So you can look at the Balfour Declaration from 1912. This was also repealed. Okay, so look into it. This is what I'm doing. I'm looking into a lot of these things. I'm already finding some truths. I don't know if all of it is, but I do know that a lot of people have done videos on all of these things. Now we're waiting for Judge Thomas to open up a whoop ass from 1776 style. The whole world goes back to the law 1776. The whole world is on the level playing field. Think the revolution of all currencies. The whole world is guided by the price of the pieces of the 1950 and 1955, the chosen years. Okay, so these are the executive orders that you should be going to look at. So all the numbers are there. And you used to be able to leave links on TikTok, but you can't now. So you're going to have to do the same thing, some of the same research. Go back to the Wayback Machine and just start asking questions. I asked the question, Australia is owned by the United States. That's the question. And believe me, and the reason why I asked that was because I already saw posts, and I'll show you those later. So here we go. So now, remember, we used to see all of these kind of pictures that we would see this coming out from him saying executive order. So these actually, all of this is all about. Here's the Balfour, and this is an interesting one. But again, if you go and find this is again one of the executive orders to do with this whole stuff. And that's what I've been doing for a number of days. I'm like, how am I going to put this stuff out? This is just so crazy. There's just so much information to put into just a video. So anyways, we're going to leave it at that. at this point, that's where this is. So you can go and look at all of these different executive orders. So from the governments. So you can go and find out that all of this is true. All of this is true. Or at least it's appearing to.
I often hear the argument that the Australian government is a corporation, right? But what I don't understand, that doesn't really...
It does, because we were sold... Tell them about 1910 when the US sold...
USFRUT.
You know that?
You know about the USFRUT agreement? USFRUT.
Tell me about it.
Well, the Great White Fleet sailed into Sydney Harbour in 1908, right? Pointed their cannons over Kirribilli and took this country for war debts. And on the 26th of the 1st, 1910, war.
There was no war. It was after World War One.
No, it was before World War One.
That's what I'm saying. So how could you have debts for World War
The Great White Fleet took this country, and it was signed in as foreign occupation administration on the 26th of January 1910. USFRUT. We'll send you that as well. You can investigate.
So we were sold to the Yanks, which is why we had a CIK number. It's in America. We've already done it. We've
And
supported
how much
it.
did we get? How much did we get for the country?
They didn't, because they seized us, because they had the cannons in. It was called an act of
So
war.
the Americans...
So we've fallen under
The Americans
Admiralty law.
declared war on us in 1910.
Yeah, and so right now
We're under
we
US
aren't on land, we are on sea, and we were controlled by America and the CIK of America. They had us controlled under Admiralty law. We can prove it in
So
court because
why-
we're making a mockery of their court.
So why do companies pay royalties if they're owned by America? Why do companies pay royalties to the Australian government, not the American government?
Because it
it's money
filters
laundering.
up
It
the
just goes
system. It's
through a
money
system.
laundering. It goes up through the companies. They pay them, they transfer it. We've got it all. We have all the evidence. We just need